Hey and welcome back to the Lean Girl Kitchen. I'm so excited about today's recipe. Today I'm going to be making a birthday surprise protein cupcake that is going to blow you away. It is packed with protein, it is low calorie, and it is inspired by my all-time favorite flavor, which is the birthday cake. So today's recipe has actually been inspired by the Grenade birthday cake protein bar. The Grenade protein bars have to be one of my all-time favorites. Guys, these taste like chocolate. Like if you have just eaten a normal chocolate and then you eat this, you won't know the difference. But these are packed with 20 grams of protein, which are going to feed those gorgeous, lean, sexy muscles. We are going to get straight into baking these glorious little cupcakes. This recipe makes 12. They are perfect as an evening dessert. You can have them as a snack because again, they're high in protein. We're using a lot of whole ingredients, packed with protein, as I said. So these are just wonderful. And did I mention that they look so beautiful, especially when we decorate them. So let's get started on making our cupcakes. Very few everyday ingredients that you should have in your kitchen already. So let's get started. We're gonna start off with our dry ingredients. And before I get started, you know that I have to ask you guys to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet done it. And don't forget to also hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my lean girl, high protein, low calorie recipes that are going to help you eat foods that are good for fat loss and taste amazing too. So, okay, so we're gonna start off with our dry ingredients. We are gonna start with some oat flour. Oat flour is great. I use it in so many of my recipes, so totally worth getting yourself some. If you do not have oat flour, you can actually make your own. Take some oats, grind it up, and you'll have oat flour. So we started off with 80 grams of oat flour. I've already weighed everything out, so it makes everything a little bit quicker. So just in your bowl, your 80 grams of oat flour. Then our second ingredient is going to be protein powder. So of course we want this recipe to be high protein. Protein is going to keep you fuller for so much longer and again help you reach that target of protein for your daily intake. Okay, so this is 1.5 servings of protein. It works out to 45 grams of protein powder. I'm using vanilla, and make sure that your protein powder tastes good, because if it doesn't taste good, your cupcakes are not going to taste good either. So 45 grams of whey vanilla protein powder. If you're vegan, you can also use a vegan protein powder. You can do whatever you like. Okay, then our next dry ingredient is going to be some sweetener. I've used Calorie sweetener. You can also use xylitol or any other sweetener that you like. I love Calorie because it is basically 0 calories. So I have got, I actually used the little bottle that is perfect for baking. So I used 10 tablespoons. Otherwise, you can also use the sachets if you like. The equivalent would be 10 sachets. I know it's quite a lot, but remember, this is making 12 muffins. So it's basically one sweetener a muffin, because we want our cupcakes to be sweet, right? Okay, so there's my Calorie that I'm then popping in there. Then we are going to add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. We of course want these little birthday surprises to rise. So 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And I think that's it. Here I've got my handy recipe book where I come up with all of my delicious creations. So I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything out. Okay, so that is it for our dry ingredients. And now we are going to go ahead and add our wet ingredients next. So the first thing that I'm going to be adding, this is low-fat Greek yogurt. I absolutely love Greek yogurt. It's really high in protein, it tastes good, and it's really nice and thick. If you can't find low-fat Greek yogurt, you can just go ahead and use plain low-fat yogurt too. So that will work out just fine. And then you're just going to add your yummy Greek yogurt. I use this all the time. Like, I also really love it just as an evening snack. Throw in a ton of berries. You can even mix in some protein powder, and it's really nice and high in protein as well. Okay, so that is that. And then I've got here some egg whites. So this is 200 grams. When I weighed it out on a scale, I just used the normal egg white carton, which you can get at your local Woolies. So you're not throwing away all of the yolks. So this is 200 grams of egg whites. I'm just using the whites in this recipe because we are trying to keep the calories low and the protein content high. And then next one is going to be applesauce. So this is actually baby food, which is just apple puree. It's got nothing else added to it. You can of course cook your own apples and make your own apple puree if you like, but this is just a really easy hack. In America, you guys have applesauce there. You know, you can just buy off the shelf. Here in South Africa, we don't have it, so this is a great little hack to actually have some apple puree. And so this is 100 grams, which I'm going to just be adding. And this is actually a great baking hack because the applesauce keeps your muffins, well, your cupcakes, really nice and moist. Whereas a lot of baking, when it comes to anything that contains protein powder, they end up quite dry. So this is fantastic to make sure that we don't have no one likes a dry cupcake, especially if it's your birthday. Okay, so now I'm just going to mix all of our dry and wet ingredients together. Okay, so that actually was really quick. And now, last but not least, we want to add some sprinkles. So this is going to make it a birthday cake cupcake. So I've got some normal sprinkles here, just rainbow sprinkles. I am going to add about half of this to the actual mixture, and then we're going to use some of the others to sprinkle on top when we do our decorations. So I'm going to go in. It is our birthday. We don't want to skimp on the sprinkles. So, okay, and then you are going to just mix these in, and when we bake these cupcakes, you're going to see the beautiful colors coming through. So you just want to give this a nice little mix. And then we are ready in the oven. It's for the oven with our cupcake. So the oven is already on 180. These are going to cook for around 15 to 20 minutes. You want to keep your eye on them because you don't want to dry them out. So when I come back, once they're out of the oven, I'll let you know the exact time that I did pop them in there for. And so now we are going to put them into our little cupcake molds. So I like to use these little cupcake holders, the little papers that you actually pour everything into. First of all, helps with cleaning, huge one. Second of all, I like to actually have a separate little cupcake which you can actually hold in the paper. So this recipe is going to make 12. So I've got them here, and now I'm just going to gently, I'm actually going to grab a nice big spoon, and I'm then going to fill up all of my little cupcakes. Okay, so our little birthday cupcakes are ready for the oven. I'm going to pop this in, and then as we wait for these to cook, I'm going to show you how we are going to make our delicious frosting. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and do our wonderful icing for our birthday surprise cupcakes. Okay, so pretty easy. And by the way, you can use this icing if you're doing a cake, like a healthy protein cake. You can use this icing for other recipes. So it is actually a great base. So this is how it's going to go. We're going to start with our dry ingredients again. So again, we are using some more protein powder. This is vanilla protein powder, and I'm using 45 grams of that. Then again, sweetener. So this is 5 sachets of sweetener, or 5 tablespoons if you're just using the powder. Of course, icing is generally very sweet, so we want to keep that sweetness up. Then the next ingredient, which is going to give this a wonderful texture, is sugar-free instant pudding. So Simply Delish has a wonderful range of these, and this is just the vanilla. You could use vanilla, or there's a cheesecake flavor. And this is going to help give our icing a wonderful texture. So this is just 12 grams of the sugar-free instant pudding that we are going to pop into there. And now what we want to do is we actually are going to add just a little bit of water, and we want to start creating an icing consistency. So you don't want it to be too runny, so rather start with less water, and you can always add more because once the icing is runny, there's no going back. You know what I'm saying? So rather start with less and work it in. Certain protein powders also will soak up more water than others. So yeah, just be careful and kind of add a little bit at a time. So you want it to be an icing consistency. We are still adding one more ingredient, which is going to be some yogurt. So you don't want it to be too stiff, you also don't want it to be too thin. So this is a kind of nice consistency, which means it's spreadable, but again, not too thin. And then the last ingredient that we're going to add is going to be some, again, low-fat Greek yogurt, just 100 grams of that. And then we are going to mix that in. All right, and now I'm actually gonna add a couple more sprinkles in here because I just can't get enough of them. So I'm gonna add just a few more sprinkles, and then I will leave some that we wanna decorate the top of our cake with, but I'm just gonna fold a couple of these in. And then our icing will be ready to go. Okay, so as I mentioned to you guys, these grenade birthday cake bars were the inspiration for these wonderful little cupcakes. So I've actually got one that I've opened here. And so to decorate the top of our cupcakes, I'm actually going to be cutting just a couple of slices of this bar. And it's just going to be so pretty, and it's going to add some wonderful texture to the top as well. And then the other ingredient that we're going to actually be putting inside of our cupcakes, because I told you there's a surprise, is going to be the grenade. We actually just need to take a moment for this stuff. The grenade white chocolate cookie spread. Like, I have already had a few spoons of this. I tell you, it tastes like just melted white chocolate, but it's got extra protein. It is amazing if you mix this into oats, if you use it as a top, it's pretty much good on anything. It's pretty much good on anything. And so we are actually going to be hollowing out a little bit of our cupcake so that when you bite into it, there's going to be some goodness, a surprise bit of goodness waiting in the middle. So I'm really excited for that. But for now, I'm just going to chop up my bar. Our little cupcakes are almost done out of the oven, and then we're going to get to the fun part, which is going to be the decorating. Okay, so now we are going to do our little surprise in the middle. So our wonderful little birthday cupcakes are out of the oven. You can let them cool slightly. By the way, I also did put the icing in the fridge, so it becomes a little bit more stiff. And so now we are going to go ahead and we are going to cut just a little hole in the middle of our cupcake, which is where we are going to put our wonderful little surprise. So you basically just cut that little hole, and then you are going to take just a small bit of the middle of your cupcake out, and this is the bit you get to eat straight away, basically. Oh god. Okay, before I get distracted by eating these, now the hero of this dish just has to be the grenade white chocolate cookie spread. It is so good, guys. It is going to blow you away. So I basically have weighed out here 100 grams of the spread, and I've put it in the microwave because it becomes a lot softer, which means that it's going to be easier for us to put in the middle of our little cupcake. So I'm going to start off, oh my gosh, by just dripping some in. Now, because this is for all 12, I don't want to leave any that don't get enough of this. So I'm going to be a bit more conservative when I get started, and then I'll make sure I use the rest. So when we're doing the calories, they obviously all add up. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these, and then we are going to hit it with the icing. Okay, so now we are going to do our icing. So again, you can just pick one up. You can use a little spatula like this, or a knife will actually work. And we are just going to grab a bit of our icing and spread it on top. By the way, I probably have already eaten like 3 spoons of this icing. It tastes so phenomenal. Now people are going to get such a surprise when they bite in to see that white chocolate gooey center. Okay, so now as with all cakes, it's all about the decorating. So we are going to go ahead and put some gorgeous sprinkles on top. And before we even get to that, I'm going to be using the inspo, which was the grenade birthday cake bar. And I'm going to be topping off each little cupcake with 1 or 2 pieces of this wonderful, delicious grenade birthday cake bar. Okay, now I'm gonna hit it up with some delicious sprinkles because after all, this is a birthday cake. And so I'm just gonna sprinkle a couple on each one. And I actually got some others. I'm actually a bit sprinkles obsessed. Like wherever I go and I see sprinkles, I buy them. So these are just some different ones. So these are kind of like round. And then I'm gonna pop them onto my plate, and then we are going to do some final touches. So there you are, darlings. There are your beautiful birthday cake inspired cupcakes. I'm gonna finish these off with a little candle because why not? And then you can of course decorate them with anything fun. I actually got my hands on these little unicorn sticks too, which just look oh so cute and oh so festive. So I'm gonna pop in a couple of these too. And these are honestly the perfect meal prep idea if you wanna make a couple on the weekend to have a delicious sweet snack for the entire week. If you're making 12, that means like 2 for each day, which is perfect. Everyone wants to eat a cupcake for meal prep, right? And there we go. And so I'm actually gonna break one of these open. Our unicorn is falling. I'm gonna break one of these open so that you guys can see how delicious and glorious the gooey, amazing center is going to be. Okay guys, so that brings us to the end of my birthday surprise protein cupcakes. I really hope that you love this recipe. You have to get your hands on some of these epic products so that you can also make these delicious grenade inspired cupcakes. I'm actually going to cut one in half now and show you guys how glorious this is in the middle. Let me take one without a unicorn in it. We don't want to ruin the unicorn's day. Let me actually just cut it open. I'm so excited for this. Just to show you guys, look at that ridiculous gooey center. And that's basically the surprise, that you get a gooey center with that white chocolate cookie spread inside. And so much protein in there, you cannot feel guilty. So there you are, my girls. I'm gonna eat this cupcake now. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it so I can bring you more Lean Girl recipes here on the Lean Girl YouTube channel. Yeah, look out for more recipes from me, Angie, on YouTube. Wow. Tastes like my birthday. I absolutely love the grenade birthday cake bars. So this is actually inspired. Okay guys.
No, wait, sorry. Okay, go.